Alright, so we are doing our live journal. It is the New Year's December 31st day, New Year's Eve, um, or whatever it is called. I never really remember. And what the fuck? Why you no give me what I want? Google. Google, why? Google. Google. Google, why? I can't access that there for some reason. That's annoying me a lot. Alright, but I can on this one. So I'll just keep Google Drive open. Trying to download the thing I made last night. Yeah, that's really all I'm trying to do right now. I do not know. Oh, I didn't put 4 in here. Uh-oh. Should do that. Okay. I don't care about scanning for viruses. I'm aware that there's no viruses in this. It's coming from me to me. If it had viruses somewhere along the way, this is how they got them. It's like, something fucked up on your end. It wasn't me. I know what happened. Alright. So, plan for today is to just go through the day. I can't call anybody, even though it's a Monday, to schedule an appointment. Because as far as I'm aware, most places that I need to call do celebrate New Year's and have a much more drastically shortened workday, or they don't even open most cases. So, I mean, it's basically 3 p.m., so it's not like the end of the world in terms of how late it is, but that basically means that probably nothing is open right now. As before, I didn't really have any time before because either I was asleep or waking up, and kind of already knew the places that I was going to call were going to be open, at least until Wednesday. My primary care and my SMI clinic are both closed during this time of year. I believe. I'm not 100% certain though, and I didn't really choose to look it up. Truthfully, it didn't really matter that much, in all honesty. Just wanted to, I guess do it this way. Yeah, I'm waiting for Wednesday, getting a bit anxious as I feel time draws near. My goal for today is to make the list of supplements, time, the whole shebang, basically, of what I'll be taking and ingesting, along with the procedure of what my first experience is going to be. Then, hope to make a couple copies of that. Go make up some appointments for my doctors. And, I guess go on from there. Personally, I don't really know what to do. other than that, and some basic self-care stuff that I need to do to help me feel better and continue the momentum of good practice and hygiene and all of that. I felt good. I brushed my teeth yesterday and flossed, which I haven't flossed, and honestly, I don't know how long. And granted, people go, oh, it wasn't actual flossing because you used the sticks and they're not exactly the same. I'm like, I mean, you're not totally wrong, but at the same time, like, I don't care. The very fact that I'm even doing that is a big deal. Shut up. I want to point out do you want me to point out how little and insignificant any little small goal you set for yourself gets achieved, and so that way you feel bad every time? No, I didn't think so. That's what you're doing. So yeah, I'm just sitting here. I'm wondering what it would be that I'd like to do moving forward. Kind of already have my plan. I think I need to start looking at other areas to focus on. As well, but not too many. I've found that I'll keep trying to take things on until I literally have no time for myself, and I believe that while mentally leads me to believe I'm being productive, in reality burns me both mentally, physically, and emotionally very fast. I need time for myself. Eventually I will be able to make it so I need less and less, but the person that is here right now needs it. I need time off. I need time for me, just to veg out, ignore things, distract myself, and enjoy what I'm doing in that moment. So I'm going to be doing that instead of trying to stress out about, oh, do I need to do this, or oh, could I be doing that, or what is this, or any of that bullshit. It's useful for some things, especially if you're in a time crunch, but otherwise it's really just a bunch of hogwash as far as I'm concerned. People around you and even yourself will tell you what you're doing is wrong because of X, Y, and Z, even though you know that that's what seems to be able to work for you currently. And instead of using to the best of your advantage what works for you currently and slowly change it to something you think would be more appropriate so it might last longer and be more effective in the long term, you do, as I have done and probably will do eventually again, attempt the quick fix of immediately changing everything. Trying to keep that going for a while, things fall by the wayside, you start to feel shit, the things that you're still doing start falling by the wayside, you start to feel shittier, and then you slip back into old bad habits again, and then you get your depression back and everything else, and you feel like a failure. So, not the best option. So I'm going with this option, slowly finding things along the way and enjoying my time as I go through it, best I can. I don't know. I would definitely like to do something, but not much of anything I can be doing. I'm just going to be relaxing. I think I have to go to Costco later today. Mom didn't want to go yesterday or the day before, Monday's apparently so much better when everybody takes the day off on fucking New Year's. And will most likely be just as packed, if not more so, filled with people who've been drinking or doing whatever they've been doing since this morning, thinking that they're good enough to drive when they probably shouldn't, or they were when they started out. They aren't by the time they start getting back on the road from shopping. So yeah, just annoying. I want to get that done and over with, get my car done and over with, buy mangoes and walnuts, and look through some of the aisles so I'm not missing anything. Get that done and over with, and head on home. Relax. I don't have anything going on tomorrow either, which is nice. Yeah. This is a short journal. It's only 11 minutes so far. Yeah, there's not much of anything that I need to do, as far as I can tell. Yeah. My thoughts and everything else are kind of, waiting for this. But not thinking too much about it, so that way I don't ruminate and cause myself anxiety or anything over it. And for today, just to see how it goes. I need to go feed the dog. Get ready to go to Costco here pretty soon, I'm guessing. And, yeah. Alright. This is, normally I try and keep this going for at least an hour, 30 minutes. I'll just pause this and see if I can come up with other stuff. Alright, so I came up with a small theory. I kind of started talking. I wasn't recording. I realized I probably should have been, so. Yeah. It was nice to just start talking to myself and come up with something nice to talk about. Anyways. Without having it be a part of some recording or anything else. It was just something fun to think about. But yeah, so my theory is with cats and dogs, the reason why they like I think a more common than not number of them, if that's a good phrase, prefer the head and butt scratch combo because of activation of certain nerve endings that respond on the primal level. Meaning, a cat's head and back end usually, not always, but usually when standing or anything else, want to be together at the same amount, unless resting or otherwise something else. And I believe there's a primal instinct to just immediately pop up. They don't even think about that. Popping up that rear end to be ready with the front end. I was started talking about the shortcuts that the human brain uses, i.e., the fact that a lot of people don't have complete individual control of all of their digits, meaning their pinky and ring, respectively, on both right and left hands, are unable to bend in half without other fingers deciding to join in. Now, this can be over time changed, but some people also have a natural instinct for this automatically, and are almost immediately there. This, I believe, is just down to how the brain can rewire itself and traits, but all that is not what I ended up talking about. What I ended up talking about was that was an example of like how the brain uses shortcuts. Because imagine, if you will, having to individually control each muscle fiber, know how much muscle tension that you need to use. Granted, if you use all, you can significantly break bones and hurt yourself, so you never get to do that. Um, yeah. Yeah, people don't realize that, but yeah. It's like, I can lift 500 pounds. I'm like, that's not your full strength. I mean, you are breaking bones and stuff, but I guarantee you, you would literally just have broken bones, jelly arms that were stiff if you were to use your full strength at that point. But I didn't get into that either. Essentially, I went down the path of, the only time you do this is when you're a baby, when you're exploring the world. That's the only time you will ever do it, essentially. Or, for some people, significant traumatic brain traumas. But usually they have brain injuries and have to retrain their brain, so it's not quite the same as having a fully intact brain that's literally getting everything new, all sensations, and they're good sensations, technically, all the time. Or really, really bad, like, oh my god, this is brand new pain. I've literally never experienced pain before. This is the first time. Oh my, I do not like this. Wham, 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 wham. And the thing is, it can be what we consider discomfort because we're so used to it now. Something as simple as a tummy trouble or a gas bubble in the intestine is excruciatingly painful because it is brand new. Everything is brand new. But eventually your brain trains itself. It learns things. It learns to ignore things. It learns to keep track of things automatically. It grows, and things become habits over time, to second nature. Well, thankfully, thanks to that, we don't have to deal with all the constant newness to everything, which would be a real problem in the long term. It's like, every once in a while, oh my god, that's so cool. You do that the 34th time, why the fuck can't I just hold a damn coffee mug? Oh my god! Fucking grab the fucking mug! I've done this a million times. There you go. There you fucking... But you wouldn't even be able to say that. It'd be bad. So yes, it wouldn't even go well. Yes. Yes. But I didn't go into that either. That's just something I thought of now. It was kind of funny. But the point is this linking, the doubling, the down of these shortcut connections, linking together, because your front also wants to be up and ready to attack or defend or be able to relax or whatever the case is as well. So when a cat gets scratched and they go up and they're feeling good about it and they're not under any danger, all of a sudden it's a great feeling. And they're not even really doing it. It's activating on its own, so there's a double action of reward there for them, which just may have been an addition that came in later with petting, or it could have been there the entire time. It could have been many things. It's just something that's a little quirk that happened to be there, that was, I think that happens to be evolutionarily good for pet owners and people alike. Yeah. Because it's not just in cats, it's in dogs too. And it's more common than it is not common. You know what I mean? Like, you hear about the things that are there, and maybe you grew up in an area where that's the majority, but, like, if you look at the whole, like, dogs and cats both like to get scratched in the butt and the head. Not like in the butt, but, just above their tail. So, yeah. And like every animal, I don't care who and what animal it is, every animal, insect, anything that happens to have muscle fibers, more than likely could deal with massages. They would love massages. Everybody would probably love massages. They're wonderful. Do not think that, if you're a person that doesn't like other people touching you, get them to use some sort of like vibration or whatever it takes, because ultimately the reward is very nice. Getting massages. I can't move my. I'm starting to realize that I'm not messing up these words on purpose. It's that the right side of my mouth is not cooperating while my left is during them. And so I definitely have a few areas of tongue movement and jaw movement and vocal cord movement that is most likely just starting to come back online as I start to move around and get the mushrooms. Every time after ingestion of the mushrooms, I do feel an increase somewhere on my body of sensation, again, that I previously did not have, which is a grand feeling. I did increase the dosage today to 4 a day, which would effectively be 2 grams a day. I think that would be just fine. Yeah. We shall see how that goes. Cannabis does seem to be helping. I've doubled up on the microdose. From 1 teaspoon to 2 teaspoons in the morning. I plan on doing 2 teaspoons with turmeric powder and water at night. I did add in black pepper this time, together with everything else, after everything had been heated. I only added in the black pepper after everything had been heated in the 1 minute mark or the 1 minute 30 mark. So either first or second, I cannot remember exactly. But basically, it was added in, not initially. No ginger was added this time. Ingestion of coffee from Crock-Pot experiment has yielded no stomach troubles as of yet. There is a good, significant cognitive increase from 30 to 40 minutes after ingestion that starts to come on, and it settles in after about 2 hours. It's currently about 2 hours in, that's why, but there are other things going on in my system, so yeah, you don't know. But it feels very nice. It's very calming, but energizing. It is only 1 cup versus a whole, so it was an 8-ounce cup versus a full, what's the word? What's the device? French press. There we go. Yes. And roughly 8 ounces, I would say. I don't know the exact amount, but roughly 8 ounces. Allowed stuff to settle. Tomorrow I will be just dipping it in there, not stirring. Typically I have stirred. Tomorrow I will be not stirring. I will also no longer be adding anything else, and I will no longer be adding any more water. So it's gonna be something, because about half of it is filled with, legit half of the entire thing is filled with coffee grounds and something else. So that needs to get cleaned out, put away, fucking dried outside. Whatever I don't use in the initial few days, after consuming all liquid, will be placed in a container outside to hopefully ferment. You never know. It might go somewhere. Probably won't, but we'll see. There's not much hope there, though. Really, there isn't. I'm not gonna lie. There's really not much there. So yeah, I'm just, yeah. I use them as prebiotics slash probiotics, because the coffee grounds should still be significant in certain oils, because as the water drains, or liquid drains, the oil will rest on top of oil, and bacteria and anything else will rest on the top of said grounds. Mix the grounds up, what I plan on doing, putting some into the blender with some smoothie ingredients, together with some basic other, like yogurt. Try and make it harder for it to be destructive, but better, you know. And then, yeah, consume that, like I said, a few times, and then that will be it. I don't really want to keep it around for very long. And I believe it can still probably start a decent little colony. I would love, and I do mean love, to use it for my first mushroom grow. You know what? The soil will keep for a long time. I have more than enough. Like, I can get $50 and then of stuff, and that would keep me going for another month. You know what I mean? I don't really need significant amounts of anything. So, yeah, I should be able to spend money on some inoculation stuff. I would love to see if my soil creates something cool. Alright. I think I'm done. I'm gonna pause this until later. Whoops. Shouldn't have unpaused it right there. Yeah. So, went to Costco and got my stuff. Got a little bit of, I got some mangoes, got some walnuts. Decided the extra was going to be some ice cream. Good old-fashioned Humboldt County, California, vanilla ice cream. Good shit. Like it a lot. It's nice. very good ice cream. It's just really, really, really good. So yeah, that's nice. Um, who I went with changed. Um, between the last time I was recording and now, which I believe it to be around 6, yeah, around 6 p.m. It's 5:53, so basically around 6-ish. It's not, but anyways. Um, yeah, went with my dad. Mom and I got in a small, honestly, I didn't even think it was an argument, but I called her out in some of the ways she decided to be passive aggressive towards me. She didn't like that. Pointed out some of the ways I thought she was being hypocritical. Didn't like that. Starting to realize I need to stop pointing things out. Because they're only going to hunker down and do more of the things. Because they're like, I shouldn't have to change all these things. It's just one more thing. Everything about me is bad. But in reality, it's really not like that. And ultimately, I'm trying to change her habits into something I think are good. So who gives me the right? So yeah, I need to change me just a little bit more and say, look, you know what? Don't need to be commenting on it. Don't need to be saying anything about it. I can bring it up about how this might be that, but don't every single time. And ultimately, yeah, you're gonna have to let it be if you want to try and get certain things done around people. Um, but yeah, she got angry, uh, just changed her mind, didn't want to go with me, decided I was going to go with Dad when he got home. Went with Dad when he got home, had no trouble, came back home after hitting Fry's on the way back. Uh, and that was it. Yeah, no troubles. Used my EBT card, no problem. Got my stuff. Felt really nice and happy about that. And yeah, she was clearly slightly still angry that nothing happened and it all went over relatively quickly. Stormed off with Dad somewhere, I'm not really sure where. They think they went to get a big gulp and then they're probably going to go do something else. There's a burger in there for them, but they'll probably get their own food. My mom decided to basically take $100 for some bill, in quotation marks, that came up out of nowhere. She who consistently monitors the finances to the point where she knows, yeah, basically everything there is in terms of what our bills coming in or out are. I'm not saying there isn't a way to for her to not be surprised or anything. I'm just saying came up at a rather odd time, rather convenient time for her. Um, but yeah, it didn't. I think it was fine. Yeah, she whatever she happened didn't happen. I think she might have thought might have happened. So it's a whole bunch of thinking and thinking of thinking, and it's stupid, complicated, doesn't need to be done, stressful for no reason. So instead, I just decided to go. Okay, well they're gonna go have fun. Um, the dog's over here. She was whimpering. Oh, definitely whimpering a lot. But she seems to be okay and is alright now. Sitting down by my side. Looks like she's enjoying waiting patiently for them to come back. That's about it. She doesn't really acknowledge me and mostly just constantly waits to hear something or feel something or whatever it is. So, yeah. Then, let's see here. Yeah, just plan on ringing in the new year, some vaping, and listening to some good tunes. Maybe I'll join them in something, but if not, that's cool too. I really don't mind what I do. It's just another day. Uh, I didn't make it special, so it doesn't have to be special. I have no expectations. It just will be what it will be. You know? Um, Beyond that, not much else to really report so far. I am slowly, I think, convincing myself more and more that the combination of the lion's mane mushroom and the psilocybin and other diet, exercise changes, and other things, there should be a change, hopefully. And the I'm, I'm saying that that I believe that there's a higher likelihood, like more and more, I'm convincing myself that the possibility of new connections and other stuff potentially helping me a great deal is significant. I'm convincing myself more and more that this, even if I go through a bad trip, will ultimately still be good for me physically and mentally, which I believe to be a good um, mindset to go into. To let it be, allow the feelings to go through as best as possible, and use the experience to your advantage, and hope that the physical uh, manifestations help. I do recognize that I do not have mushrooms, and I kind of want to get mushrooms. Most specifically, just because I believe in the entourage effect significantly. It plays a key role in a lot more than people think. It could be just the active ingredient is enough. However, I'm of the opinion, I shouldn't say convinced, although I am near convinced, that the entourage effect may enhance the interconnectivity properties, enhancing properties of the drug, along with the growth, so to speak, of newer connections or strengthening of old connections. It is possible that specifically just that one drug is enough to do it, but I still want to make sure to try down the road to see what the difference is. You know, I want to try some magic mushrooms in my own prepared way to try and extract as much as I can, and go on my own trip and adventure that way, and trying another experiment down the road about that specific thing. I have noticed already, after just the initial 1 gram dose of lion's mane mushroom in the morning, I have increased mental calmness again. I have an increased physical sensation awareness of both where my limbs are and what they are doing. That has started to come back. My gut is starting to come back even more so, and I can kind of feel things moving around in there again. I am gaining back both the aches and sores and movement and relaxation of tension or and shoulders and back muscles, alongside other facial features and neck muscles. So far, the incident yesterday has not occurred with my pain or numbness and tingling in my heart or left arm or leg. And I do seem to be getting some control and feeling and a sensation back and things I didn't realize I had lost, which is nice. Mood overall has been increased. I have missed quite a bit of my self-hypnosis over the last 2 days. My earbuds have popped out of my ears. I'm not sure if I'm doing it on purpose while I'm asleep, or if I'm just rolling around or something, or what the case is, but it happened 2 times. And so, yeah, I want to get back on track with that and try and help it out. I have decided that I am going to start taking the mushrooms 4 times a day instead of a 2 times a day increment, same amount 4 times a day. Spread it out and keep the effect going for longer, basically. Try and keep it in my system for longer, basically. See if that helps. We'll see. Almost out of cannabis, so that will be gone. Be back to microdosing. Truthfully, I kind of think that's a good thing. It did sort of wipe out whatever the hell was in my lungs. I'll be honest, the $50 destroyed whatever is in my upper lungs. Do not have any, and I'm still having phlegm things. I've copped up some weird, nasty, red, purple looking stuff. However, it was one time, and I think it might have been as a result of the B12 that I take, and it might have gotten caught on the way down, swallowing into some mucus. Got trapped that way. I'm not aware, though. You know, I really don't know. So yeah, trying not to do that. Trying to move forward in other endeavors, such as instead of a 2 journals a day thing, it'll be 1 journal spread out over the day with marks and times hopefully spoken about in between. I realized I never spoke about how the ingested method and amount ingested of the 3 supplements that I was referring to for the back in November 2016 when I suddenly had my mental troubles. Pie gum tree bark powder, I do not know the brand. I do not know if they sell it anymore. It was in a blue bag. Just came straight up in a bag with a zip tie and a box. There's nothing else to it. Now's sunflower powder, 1 pound. Sunflower lectin powder, 1 pound. And I'm not going to bring it up, but yeah, it was a sports brand, L-glutamine powder. I don't know if they're still around. They probably are. Most of them usually are. People don't really associate some of their side effects to the actual supplements they're taking. They might even attribute it more to the medications, which is just stupid. Both can be effective. Both can be interacting. So, yeah. Let me see here. Let me get back to what I was saying. The ingestion method, this was done about 3 times a day, 3 to 5 times a day on average. 2 tablespoons of sunflower lectin powder. A half tablespoon, I think, of L-glutamine powder. Or 3, I'm not sure. Along with pie gum tree bark powder. That one was, I think, a tablespoon or more. Probably much more than a tablespoon. It was put into some water, stirred, heated up until it was boiling, over almost. Stirred, heated up again, stirred, heated up again, stirred, and left to cool. I believe I may have added from time to time certain other either more or less of either supplement, along with maybe some other powders that I might have had around from time to time, like DHEA stuff or something like that. It took me a while to figure it out, because when I first started doing it, it didn't really have any effect. Later on, I started getting stomach troubles. Further on, I started getting stomach and heart and back troubles. Later on, started getting liver troubles, which is now what I'm going to call them because of the way the pain presented itself. Definitely liver troubles. Essentially from just underneath my rib cage on my right side, thoracic, to the central point just below my rib cage, spreading inside underneath the rib cage and down and underneath about roughly size and area of 3 inches. It's fairly thick. I assume that was the liver. Could be wrong. But yeah. Then I was given antibiotics. Started having trouble with severe migraines and so many other things. Turns out that I continued taking the stuff and then I stopped because I figured, okay, this is clearly something that might be doing something. It could be contaminated, it could be whatever it is. By that point, I thought it was the pine gum tree bark powder, or L-glutamine powder, or something. It was something there, was in there doing damage, and I stopped it, and that helped a lot. But it was also right around the time when I stopped the antibiotics they gave me for the UTI I had given myself. Right around this was happening. Yes. Right around when this is happening also, I had a beginning case of a thrush infection, more than likely. I didn't recognize the symptoms because I don't brush my teeth. I didn't brush my teeth. Well, I don't brush my teeth as regularly as I should, or mouthwash, or anything. And I noticed a white film building up on my tongue and in the back of my throat. But however, at the time, I had thought it was something else. And in fact, that might have been even earlier in the year that was earlier in the year when I noticed that. Then the thing spread. I noticed that it would kind of die a little bit from time to time when I would drink or eat certain things, and then it would spring back up and go away. So, yeah, it was a while before it got taken care of. It could be in my stomach. I don't know. I don't really give a shit. But it was there, and my immune system started to attack it just like it would anything else. It started doing that everywhere, with both the antibiotics that were damaging some of the stuff that I was going down there, and I felt way different pains and lacks of sensations, and I just told myself it was going to be over, and I didn't know what the hell was causing it. It could just be like a really bad UTI that was hurting my nerves, which is possible. Bacteria are known to go after your nerves from time to time, and that it would eventually come back. It didn't. It stayed the same. So I figured I need to excite my nerves to regrow them or something, and I don't remember really beyond that. Yeah, it was just a disaster. And then other stuff went on throughout the year, and other stuff went on throughout the next year that further damaged things. So, yeah. Alright. So, here we are again. I am sitting alone by myself. It is 9:03 p.m. This time in the living room. Parents are off doing their thing. I do not think they'll be coming back for the New Year's. You know, midnight thing, but it's cool. I don't really care that much, honestly, or even really at all. But I do know that I have been sitting here thinking about things, and I definitely want to try and explore, see if they're coming back in here. But I definitely want to explore more of the stuff that I was experiencing in 2017. I've kind of blocked a lot of it out, unfortunately. A lot of it is, I think about it, I'm embarrassed, I feel ashamed, guilty, can't believe the things that I thought I was doing and I was okay with doing. Even though it wasn't real, the things that I said towards people and the things that I thought about doing to others, or having I considered ordered to others, or in some cases tortured, murdered, whatever the case is, just makes me feel terrible. And I don't know how much of what I said I meant and what I was acting out or what I was pretending, or I don't know, honestly. So I need to explore it. It definitely made me realize that I have a violent temper. And when I think that what I'm doing is right, I can justify literally anything at all. Which isn't great. I really thought I was above that, but I'm not at all above it. I don't think anybody is, really. And those that actually truly are abnormal exceptions to the rule. I know nothing that I was doing was real now. But yeah, it's scary. Makes me very ashamed of myself. And then when I think about how others were perceiving me during this time period in my life, it makes me feel even worse. So I think it might be a good idea to explore that. I don't think during the trip. Whatever happens, happens. That's how I view that. What's gonna show up, come up, be there, is gonna, just be that. I don't really expect to have any real control, in much of it, but we'll see. We shall see. As I continue doing this, I continue realizing how much I enjoy journaling. Yeah, it makes me feel better, it makes me feel nice about, and it kind of gives me the ability to process what's going on mentally throughout the day, which, and catalog and note, and even just speaking out loud in a lot of context seems to help my memory. So, not to mention, I don't talk all that often anymore, and I've found that my ability to speak, allocate, or elucidate, or whatever it is called, I feel has been getting better as I've been doing this. So I want to continue doing that and continue getting better. My eyesight, I have already noted, has definitely gotten better since this morning still. Um, it's mostly just with concentration and ability to switch from something to something, and my eyes can quickly focus. It doesn't take seconds to focus on something and bring it to attention and have it appear after being invisible for a little bit, which is nice. That's very nice. Visuals have started to come back, unfortunately. However, I think that this is maybe more so due to possible interactions, micro damage, sparking up the nerves, causing it to be overreactive, and should die down in a few days. I feel like much the same way my prostate and genital area was and has since calmed down. There was a short period of time there where I was able to go more than 3 times in an hour. It's actually dangerous. Have not had it happen since the 2 times spread out over about a week that it happened. I gave my body time to heal. And it seemed to do the trick. After the second time, another 3-day, I think a day or 3-day waiting period, the extra sensitivity and excitement has died down, and resuming of normal standard functional feeling and sensation, tactile sensation, kind of seemed restored, in all honesty. So it's still getting better though. Like, I'm still feeling more and more as time goes on, and getting more and more like muscle movement and control that I didn't have before down there. And it's slowly creeping up, and it seems to be focusing on stuff that's most recently been affected. I would say, for pain-wise, that came around and then went away. The started off, the numbness and tingling started off coming back. I noticed in my middle back initially. Gut and lower back. Slash like right side. I think it might have been the vagus nerve, honestly, but I could be wrong. Yes, so it started off there, and then it slowly crept outwards. And then it just seemed to mostly be stuck on whatever's been most recently affected. It hit my legs initially, and then I started getting it in my arms, and then my chest, and then my genital region, and then my face, head, and pretty much my entire body has now started to receive some benefit from since I've added lion's mane mushrooms into my stack. This was not occurring, and in fact, it more or less had just stopped by this point with what I was taking. What I was taking was enough to stop, and whatever the body was doing to self-repair was happening. It was slow, and it was uh, not really working in some areas because they'd completely gone away. I have actually started to regain some use of my right eyelid. The paralysis that was there has actually lifted somewhat. It's not completely gone, but there is some movement now and some ability to see. As a result, extended vision. I could still see through my eye in that way, but my eyelid was blocking me from being able to get any light. So what that means is I believe the mushroom to be working, the lion's mane mushroom to be working very well in conjunction with what I already have. What I already have is seemingly very, very good with helping out nerves self-repair. The lion mane mushroom puts it into another league of its own. It significantly increased the speed up time over the course of 2.5 weeks here of nerve repair and brain damage repair. I would put this compound into a classification above many, many others. This brand I will stick with, Host Defense, for a very long time. Whoever Paul Stamets gives it to had better keep whatever he's doing going. Because it's working. And he knows his shit. Now, is it perfect? I don't know. I have not received, honestly, any symptoms. Maybe initial nausea. However, nausea could have been caused through multiple different factors, i.e. zinc gluconate, 25 milligram on a dry stomach, too much acid from coffee, other supplements taken on an empty stomach, possible nausea from my coffee kombucha, basically. And so yeah, they could have been from many things. As a result of this, I cannot say that it even has given me any side effects throughout this, taking it. I believe that the amount that I was taking was so low that there was no possibility of them. I have since increased the dosage double the dosage it was before. I was taking 1 gram, I am now taking 2 grams. I believe it will help. I believe it will help to maintain, and I believe that anybody looking, in fact, I believe everybody should be taking this supplement to a degree. Almost everybody I know suffers from some sort of pain caused by nerve inflammation or damage, usually as a result of being stuck in a position that for long periods of time, or a repetitive task that they have to do at work, or whatever the case is. This may help them. I believe it'd be a very good idea to be able to advertise it as the next big super drug. You could make this motherfucker millions. No fucking question. He would be run out of business with the demand of his product if I could somehow make it as, big of a deal. However, the cannabis combination, along with the glycinate, which I believe breaks down to L-glutamate powder, L-glutamate in the system, which I am not sure. As a result, I will look that up. It's glycinate. I kept thinking it was having L-glutamate powder. It's magnesium glycinate powder. Not the same thing. Which is good. It's good to know. It's definitely good to know. And I definitely have realized that it helps out to know these things. I do believe that I need to look into the things that I take and see how healthy they are and which brands may or may not be the better brands. Do a little extra shopping, basically. I do not want to get the pine gum tree bark powder. I believe the pine gum tree bark powder is actually neurotoxic, possibly. And that is the reason why you get some of the feelings you do, because it's technically breaking down the sheath and speeding up those transmissions. So it might be, or at least at those higher dosages that I was taking. It could have been multiple different things, though. And so it's difficult to know. Alright. Dialing back on the hype for a moment. These are just preliminary results from one person taking, with his specific genetics, taking his specific environment, and taking his specific dietary and supplementary things. Yes, what do you wish for, Kitty? Do you want to sit down on my lap? Sit down on my lap? Want me to do this? Come on. Yeah, I knew you wanted to sit on my lap. Alright. So, yes, I do believe these are preliminary results. And as such, I am going to have to dial back my claims. I do believe that he can make a large amount of money, and this could be the next super thing. Even if the results that I'm currently experiencing only occur if you continue taking this supplement. That's still, honestly speaking, better in every way. If I experienced at most some nausea, and with all these benefits, then yes, I think that that's a great trade-off. This would be a better medication than most medications. So yeah, we shall see what's going to happen. I know inevitably I'll be without this supplement anymore at some point. We shall see what happens if the results stop, if the results stop after time, and if the results stop and if they do so after amount of time or immediately, also, if things get worse, do the nerves degrade again over time? Or is the repair that was done and the subsequent everything else done, will it be able to sustain over time? I'm hoping I will not need to test this out, but my mom is getting more and more surly, and I rely on her for pretty much everything, unfortunately. And as a result, more than likely, it will have to be a part of my allowance, which significantly reduces my ability to buy other things, which she knows. She just doesn't like the idea of helping. I'm going to have to ask her to help and buy some zinc. I got that, I think, in 200 days ago. It would be just about, because I started taking it. When I started taking it, I had already started taking it in half after the first week, I think. So yeah, it's in 50 milligram. I think it's 100 tablets. So I cut it in half, double it, 200 days total, minus the 7 days, 193 days from whenever it's going to end, which is, I'm thinking, about a week or two from now, just about, when it'll be out, which she'll be not happy about as well, and probably decide it's not a good idea. I want to stay on whatever it is I'm taking to keep what I'm doing working. I believe consistency long term helps that. So I will push for those supplements, and I'm going to push for the ashwagandha root, but I don't believe the Daminia root is really needed. It could be. I don't really know. I'll push for that as well. We'll see what happens with those two. I really hope that she lets me get them. Because otherwise I've got to pay for it, and I do not know how that's going to happen. $50 I really should have kept, but at the same time, I definitely needed, truthfully, that cannabis. It did help a lot. So I don't know. It's just whatever. Like, if the cannabis wasn't as expensive, it really wouldn't have been as big of a deal as it is. Hell, if I had my own hydraulic heating ceramic plate thing, I'd do that. Just buy a fuck ton of weed. That's super cheap. Just make my own shit. But, at this point, nothing I can really do about it. Yeah. I have placed the light effects that I'm going to have in my room. I believe I'm going to have to take them out most likely pretty soon here, so that way they have them out front. I'm really only supposed to have it when I'm tripping or going through my experience. However, it can be anything at any point in any time, I think. It's just, they'll get more use out of them out here, and I'm not going to hear the bitching and moaning of, oh, well, he took it without even asking, and he's just keeping it and is gonna keep it forever and so many things and yada yada yada. It's just concessions. It's really frustrating. And I would like it to not be, but life is life. Sue added me on Snapchat. Don't know how the fuck she got my Snapchat. Don't really like the fact that she did that. I understand I'm also very asocial, and it's really just my anxiety. I don't like the fact that she knows. My Twitter, which I'm assuming how she got my fucking Snapchat. So I put on there that I'm a blogger. It's not hard to find my Facebook and where I live and all this stuff. It's really not hard, truthfully. Which scares me. And I need to take some precautions, I feel, in the future if I were to try and stream. I need to unlink certain accounts to certain things. The Wayback Machine will always be there, but it will make it more difficult. And therefore, I feel better overall. I'm also aware that Google has your entire fucking search history. So if I ever get caught for any fucking reason by the cops, and they need to go use my Google search history, I'm fucked. So, yeah. It's not really because of like, see, that's the thing, I don't even know. Honestly speaking, there has been so much on that computer that has gone on over time through my Google account that I genuinely don't know. And I've never had. It's possible other people have had access to it. Which doesn't make me feel good. But it does give me some hope in case there's certain things. But truthfully, it's going to be me. Yeah, it's porn. I don't think I did anything like, I need to look up how to make a bomb. I don't think there's anything on that. But there's quite a bit of porn. You never know with the laws. Like, I actually don't know what anybody's like, as long as it's not kids. I'm like, yeah, I'm aware of that. But then there's, like, if it's drawn, then sometimes it's something else, and sometimes it's not. And then there's, like, character, and then what, technically everything's 18 years of age, but then nothing, so I don't know how that goes. And then there's whatever gets posted on a forum, and you're just scrolling by, you don't save anything, so I don't know what that's going to be. Guro-chan is never going to look good. That I'm just going to have to own up to and say, like, look, I was just in a shitty place and started having violent sexual stuff. Never really went beyond hanging or asphyxiation. It was always my maximum. That and some other really weird shit that I honestly regretted while it was happening. Truthfully, it was like, oh my god, I can't believe I'm doing this. Just not in a good place. So, yeah. But as far as I know, no one that was, nothing that should be underage. And if anything is, more than likely is when I had the account when I was so young that honestly I was probably that age. So, or close to it. It does make it right, but yeah. So, and by that age, I mean around the 18 years of age, 16 phase, with 4chan being what 4chan was during those days. I didn't really ever actively seek out anything as far as I can remember. I just used 4chan a lot and random search for this on Google, and then I would just click a link because it'd be a picture and then it'd link you to something else and then something else and some. Eventually you get to a site where it's just a 10-second clip of that thing and that's it. And then you would close the 5 other sites that all have basically the same things, but you'd have to click multiple times on that one specific thumbnail to be eventually able to get to it. That was when I was younger. I've never done that anymore. But yeah. Thinking back on it and thinking back right now about it, it's oh, well, that was a shit ton of malware and probably significant issues to my computer. I was definitely part of the botnet for a while there. Then there was the time when I sent my internet traffic routed through Kansas City, apparently, because I thought it was the Google DNS server, and don't know what the fuck, who else routed traffic. Yeah, I genuinely don't know. That was right around the time I had the GuroChan stuff and things like that. Because their website had just... It was a niche to me. And for some reason I felt empowered to save what was there. For whatever reason. I don't know why. It's not like anybody ever needs to see it, but I don't know. I felt like trying to archive the whatever was in the gigantically large file that was there. And I've since deleted that thing and then double zeroed it. People don't know what that is making your hard drive write 0 or 1 respectively throughout the entire hard drive, essentially wiping it. A double zeroing is of course the same thing. It's not a defragment. It's not your typical hard drive deletion. It will take a few hours, and it will take longer the more storage you have. So, yeah, you do it, you get rid of it. But it's gone now, and I don't need to worry about it. It doesn't bother me, and I honestly never really I didn't really have the need as a result of having consistent, constant access to the internet and privacy to save anything, really. I was just super paranoid and thought shit was saved there. I'm not saying I didn't start saving stuff in 2017, but it shouldn't be anything that was in regards to illegal by any stretch of the imagination, as far as I'm aware. But that doesn't mean just because you're not aware, Anyways, so yeah, circling back, that does make me afraid. I feel like law enforcement have a tool right there. I am kind of on the fringes already with cannabis, but as a result of it being medicinal, it's not as big of a deal. And I'm not being blatant or an asshole to anybody about it. At the same time, I am also going to be using a research chemical. I'm allowed to have Opera and Fringe. Technically not allowed to consume it, but you would have to basically take me to the station and get blood tested while I was on this stuff to be able to know. It's kind of bullshit. You really should just take me to the ER. Kind of discussed that with my mom. Don't call the cops. Take me to the ER. Drive me there. I will not want to do that, though. However, I'd rather just stay home. Go through the bad trip. Nothing the ER can really do other than restrain me and give me something to try and put me to sleep. And anticonvulsant, maybe. I don't know. Whatever's going to happen is going to work its way through my system. So, yes. Now, I would like to be able to move forward in other things. I did complete my list and my dosage and plan for when I take the substance. However, I would like to revise it slightly. I've figured out a better way to do it so it uses less paper and overall works in a more efficient manner for doctors to be able to quickly access what it is I take, and then they can get all the other information that they may or may not want afterwards. Primary care doesn't give a shit. Psychiatrist is really not going to matter. They don't care too much. And if they do, kudos to them because they're actually informed and care. But also, counselor's probably not going to care as much. But you never know. It's good for them to have it. It's good for them to know. And so, yeah. I want them to have my treatment plan for the overall, arcing treatment plan. The treatment plan for my time will be taking the 4-ACO DMT. And the list of supplements, medications, and nootropics that I take. Whoa, it's okay, kitty. It's okay, guys. Oh, it's alright. Come here. Come here, little one. Are you scared? It's okay. Come here. Come here, little one. Oh, it's okay. I know you're afraid. It's scary. It's okay. Let's turn on the music for you guys. Oh, I'm still recording this. Some fireworks went off. Whew, got the hiccups. It's alright, little one. You want to come over here in my lap? It's okay. I don't mind. Come here. Yeah. I know, doggy. Alright. Yes. So, I need to figure out various things that I want to do. I've written down the various things that I want to do. Um, it's alright. There you go, little one. Yeah. Yes, so I've written down the various things that I'd like to do. I'm going to update them and make them a little nicer and easier to read and not as cluttered so people can enjoy them a little better. Then hopefully I can print them out tomorrow. I was supposed to go to Costco to get the printer ink filled. Right. Well, I forgot to do that. That's too bad. I guess I'll have to do that tomorrow. With her, because she's gonna pay for that, not me. I use the printer rarely. She uses the printer most often. So this is going to be for my records and to have for my doctors. So this is important just as much. It's not me just printing out some random crap, because I want to. This is needed, and even if it was wanted, it still wouldn't be that often enough for it to not be a big, for it to be a big deal, for it to not just be simple, easy, I think. Yeah, it would be nice to have this for everybody, be able to talk to everybody, go over it, have it go down, and be able to do everything that is on the plan for afterwards. However, I am very well aware that things change, opinions, plans, many other things. So I'm hoping that whatever is going to be changing won't be something I can't deal with. And ultimately, I hope that I should be able to continue moving forward and working towards bettering myself. This is going to be an adventure. Alright, time to pause. It is now 2:20 a.m. They did manage to come, my parents did manage to come by before the New Year's. Turns out they ended up having dinner with my younger sister, who they were concerned about being sick. Mom was very concerned and thought my younger sister needed to go to the doctor, to the ER, or urgent care, based upon her cough. However, when I didn't bring up how that might be similar to my stuff, but yeah, I think most people would probably see that feels bad. I'm aware that she more than likely did it to see if she could get a reaction out of me. She has done similar things to this in the past. Or her own little form of punishment, like you didn't treat me right. But this person over here, they treat me the way I want to be treated, so I'll treat them right. Perfectly normal. Yeah, I really am just thinking about my lion's mane mushroom, honestly, and making sure I keep that going and keep going on this. I haven't really been thinking too much about the whole mental side effects of stuff, of the emotions. I let the emotions happen. I feel them. And then I move on. Unlike before, where they used to linger around for quite a while, or come back again. Which is nice. It's going to be different. Yeah, it's going to be different. I feel going into 2019. I really hope that I'm at least able to succeed in certain aspects of my treatment plan. At least figure out certain things that may or may not work. I am worried about the idea of getting addicted in a roundabout way to the feeling of psychedelics, if they do make me feel better or do allow me to escape. However, even I still now have to say kind of abuse of cannabis in the past. It wasn't, I don't know, just wasn't like this. It's just a different substance, different profile. Euphoria is caused in a different way. Possibility of a much worse trip. I have to say, though, negative experiences tend to not actually stop me from doing the same thing if I believe, especially if I believe that in the long run it's better. I can convince myself of that, of a lot of stuff. Some slight nausea from time to time, some slight this, some slight that. Okay, well, it's happening more often, but ultimately I'm helping this part of my body because I can rationalize it extremely well. It's too scary. Do not fall into the trap of thinking about all the good individual things that each individual supplement that you've put together in your diet and everything. Don't always think about only the good things. You will always, and I mean this, always get wrapped up into them and never realize, well, how they may or may not be potentially causing side effects. And everything causes side effects. You might not recognize them as being there, potentially more than likely due to them not being significant enough and your body being able to compensate for it, so you keep homeostasis, or the side effect is so minor that you actually don't notice, or could even attribute it to something else, because you're not paying attention. And even if you get rid of all those, there's still the possibility of side effects that are going on that you can't actually feel physically or mentally or emotionally. That's even more dangerous, because if they are, they're usually something that's going to cause severe damage to you, because it's a slow burn that will take forever to feel. And by then, lots and lots of irreparable damage more than likely will have occurred. So, yeah, you don't want that. Don't want that. But yeah, the reason why I'm saying that is due to just recognizing in the past how I would constantly justify and reason to myself how this supplement was helping me in this way, and this supplement was doing this, and such and such and such, and ignoring the possibility of it causing any sort of issue, or if it was causing issue, it not being as big of a deal as it was. It's going to take time. I still feel there's more that I can do. It's going to be busy. Hopefully. If I can keep these journals up and start getting myself moving, I'm going to need to contact Sue, see if she wouldn't mind going on some hiking adventures or something like that. Maybe movie, but that's money, and I don't have money. Although I am a big fan at the moment of just being in a cozy, comfy Starbucks. So, yeah. It would be nice to figure out what to do while I wait. That's kind of the busybody work while I'm waiting to start my treatment plan. Yeah, it's actually really annoying. This is usually some of the reason why I might hold off on doing things, because then I'm stuck doing nothing. I've got nothing to worry about, nothing to do, nothing to think about. I get pretty bored. I get kind of bored, pretty bored. And yeah, even my mind can't come up with stuff to think about. I remember that stuff in my past when I was a kid. However, at the time I was constantly anxious and didn't want to really be thinking by myself anyways. And now I do. Now I definitely do. So, funny how that changes. I need to figure out the... No need to, no blah 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 blah. I don't know. I feel like it would be nice to, just figure some sort of a TV show or something that is good to sort of latch on to while I'm waiting for this. Takes me a while to see my counselor. I'll be seeing him until Friday. Most likely around Friday is when I'll be receiving my powder. Could be later. And yeah, I don't really have much else going on. Plan for tomorrow, or later today, I guess I should say, is to update the medication supplement nootropic list. I'll go over the treatment plan, see if I can't break it down a little better, and the for ACO DMT treatment plan. See if I can't. I mean, it is pretty consolidated. I don't really see too much of an issue with that. I really feel like most of what I'm going to be doing is just kind of. So all I need to do is change and put an asterisk or some sort of marking on the cannabis oil. Actually, I need to add cannabis oil. So that's another thing I need to do. But turmeric powder, Daemonia leaf powder, ashwagandha root powder, magnesium glycinate powder, turmeric, and black pepper, along with, of course, cannabis oil. Put that in there, and yeah, just basically put an asterisk or something, and then further down, right, the ingestion method. This way, it's not written each and every single time with every one of the herbs, spices, and everything else that just adds unnecessary amounts of line space in reading, and really just adds clutter, which I believe would make a person not want to read it, even with the double line spacing. So yeah, I plan on reducing that whole thing, and then making sure to attach my name to everything but no, maybe not attach my name to everything, just in case. I don't know what, but I don't know. Yeah. And then I don't really have anything else to do later today. Suppose I could text my friend, see if she would like to go schedule a hiking thing to do, or something like that. My mom's gonna start wallowing in self-pity as the holidays comes to a close, and she realizes I'm getting better and she's not going to be allowed to bully me anymore. We'll see how long that goes. Once a bully can no longer manipulate others through how they feel emotionally, and you see someone else basically not bullying them, just explaining how they feel. Maybe not done in the nicest manner, but considering this is a household, probably said better than most people would give you the ability to hear. Yeah. She will hopefully do well in the coming months, and I wish her the best. And I hope that she starts getting better. But, yeah. The main thing, I just don't want her to sabotage me. And she's very passive aggressive. To the point where she will definitely intentionally sabotage someone with the intent of the idea of not having to deal with any of the... She gets what she wants, basically. And, I'm a person in her life that isn't gonna let her do that. There's nothing wrong with making sure both parties get what they want. You don't have to sacrifice or blow over someone else just because you don't want to take the time to stop and think. It would be nice to not be afraid of what she may or may not do. Either to me in a passive-aggressive way, towards me in some sort of attempted bullshit backhanded reasoning to teach me a lesson or anything like that. It's unfortunate that she wants to play the "oh, I'm so bad" card. I'm tired of the "oh, I'm so bad" bullshit. You are. If you're gonna act that way, yeah. You are. You're not, but you are. You have the power to not be that shitty, but you are being that shitty right now. That's why. And unfortunately, I'm stuck on the other side of a mentally deranged individual who has a lot of power and control over a lot of what my life may or may not happen, all depending on the balance that she decides to give me, and the help beyond that. It's very dangerous. She is open-minded, however, she is adamantly, basically, against anything that I do, say, or like. But she really wants me out of this house. She knows I'm smart. She knows I can convince her. She knows I want to get out of here. I use those to my advantage. I shouldn't have to. I shouldn't honestly have to treat my mental health, the treatment that I receive, both for my mental health and my physical body, as a game, As we'll see. Nothing's ever actually stable or in any sort of routine. Yeah, this will be nice to have. Consistency will be nice to have. Stability will be nice to have. I'm going to have to start manufacturing it my own way in specific parts of my life. The journal is going to need to be one part of that. This treatment plan is going to be another part of that. I will be having a consistent part of my life every time. That's huge. It's going to be the first time I think genuinely, the first time ever that I've tried to have technically I could say my supplements were and then medication. Well, this is basically going to be the first time I'm going to be trying to do all of these things together in conjunction. I've more than likely, except for the 4-ACO DMT, I've been on one thing or another, on or off, from time to time, for a very long period of time, actually. Medications, supplements, therapies, diets, exercises, stretches. This is kind of my first plan where I sort of add most of the stuff together that I feel works. Or can work. In terms of supplements, in terms of therapy, in terms of nootropics. So, hopeful, scared, not really of the drugs, more so of my mother. I can say similar things to stuff that she might just blatantly say to me and I don't react to. And she turns into the world's biggest crybaby. Like, I've got to have a hard shell on me when I'm around her. Everybody does. To anybody who gets close enough to her to really start opening up to. That's been around. Like, anybody that sticks around, she treats this way. My dad is similar, just in a different way. Her way of making him do what she would like him to do, basically. And her negative. But, yeah, no. She doesn't see it, my dad doesn't see it, and certainly nor do anybody else in the family. They have their own views. I have mine. And that's that. But yeah, I would like to not be anxious about my future treatment plan moving forward and everything else moving forward. And after the plan starts going, how things will turn out because of her. I might be healing, but that doesn't mean the people around me are. I could be in a good place mentally, but I could be in a very bad place. A very bad place that's conducive to those good emotions. Basically, it can be in a very negative environment. So we'll see. how this goes. I hope it goes well. I hope that I get more money. I mean, I've done more chores. I haven't even been saying anything because, honestly, I don't want to get into the argument, but I've picked up more chores. Honestly, there's only been a few things that I haven't been doing, and yeah, most of the time it's some of those things where they don't give me the chance. Instead, it's they automatically do it when they feel it should be done. That's not giving me the chance, nor is it giving me the opportunity to know when it should be or anything like this. So, another opportunity for being set up for failure, and to be berated and then told what to do by a person who thinks that I should know already how I should be doing this, and then berates me for not knowing how to do this, and puts examples from the past about how I used to do similar things. Yeah, I can't really expect her to be very good. She's not a good person. But she's not good mentally. I need to get out of here and heal myself as best I can to be able to make that a reality. I'm going to be forcing a lot of stuff onto other people. They're not going to like it. I don't really give a fuck. It's not really about them. And my attempt to, I'm going to push really hard to try and attempt to get some of the stuff that I want and believe I need. However, I should stipulate that the idea of if you really wanted or if you really needed, you would do such and such only works for truly desperate people. And in all honesty, I am not that point. I'm not at that point. And even then, it is a loss of moral and ethical ground to the individual having to usually do something that they do not think fits within those categories of morals and ethics. I am not saying that I'm super moral, super ethical, but when you combine genuinely not wanting to do it and everything else, it's just not gonna happen. So, alright, I'm basically forgetting what I was talking about a few minutes ago by this point. So, moral, long story short, whatever you want to call it. Don't want to be worried about my mom moving forward. Hope to not have to push very hard and have the arguments to be able to facilitate what I believe I need from them in terms of help and or materials or what have you. This might seem intense, but I assure you, even a small amount is met with significant resistance, and more will be more and more will be given as time goes on, I feel. So, worried about that. Just don't want to worry. Kind of wish I could have a guarantee, something written on paper, that for at least 6 months I shall have these materials, no matter what. That way I have my stack. It'll be at least 6 months, and after 6 months I can say, okay, this has either helped or hurt, or done nothing, or has done something. They're not going to go for that. And I don't really want to bring it up. I'm more afraid of how it will end up going more than anything else. Arguments. The adage of you have to learn to pick your battles, I feel needs to have an asterisk next to it. You need to learn to pick your battles in the right places. Alright. In the right times. If you don't, well, you're doing yourself a disservice. And even then, you must always be prepared for a very messy, terrible result. Alright, I'm going to leave it off. It is basically 3 a.m. It's 2:55. Everybody have a wonderful New Year's. Bye.